morning. On behalf of the entire Connecticut College community, I want to welcome you to today's 106th Commencement ceremonies. Please be seated. Interim Dean of Equity and Inclusion and William Meredith Assistant Professor of Psychology, Nakia Hamlet, will begin our celebration today by delivering our land acknowledgement, which will be followed by a call to community. As a gentle reminder, to make this ceremony as respectful as possible, we ask you to please silence your cell phones. I now ask Dean Hamlet to come forward to initiate our program.
Good afternoon, and congratulations. I would like to take a moment on behalf of the college to acknowledge the land we currently occupy and to honor the Native peoples who were its first inhabitants. Specifically, we honor the Mashantucket Pequots, Eastern Pequots, Mohegans, and other Native nations who are indigenous to Namaog, now called New London, and the land surrounding coastal Algonquin, also known as the Long Island Sound region. We acknowledge that indigenous peoples have cared for this land over many generations and know that they endured suffering and violence through the historical period of settler colonialism and its legacy. Today, we strive to tell and retell the complete stories, to repair the harm, and to live together as neighbors in this region. Call to community. Having acknowledged the land, I would like to invite us into communion with one another. I will offer an excerpt of a poem by Amanda Gorman titled Another Nautical. Relationship. Life has taken the suffix ship, made it a verb, taken sound and given it momentum. That's what only words can do. Prod us towards something new, and in doing so, move us so closer together. Perhaps our relationships are the very make of us. Fellowship is both our nature and our necessity. We are formed primarily by what we imagine. There is truly unity that requires no they. For us to be threatened by this, the very definition of love, we've never had to hate a human, to hug another, never had to be fearful, to be fond of the hearts beating out to us. This whole sea-less wreck we have sought, not yellow land, but our fellow man, the shores mapped only by one another. Thank you. It is now my distinct honor to welcome Interim President Les Wong.
Thank you, Nakia. What a special moment for Connecticut College. We are honoring the class of 2024. Welcome, soon to be graduates. I almost heard you. One more time. Thank you. A well-deserved welcome to family, friends, faculty, staff, and all our supporters, in addition to those of you joining via the live stream. I want to thank the trustees, our donors, and especially our commencement speaker this morning. This is the 113th year of Connecticut College's existence. Your success and the hard work and commitment of faculty and staff mean the class of 2028 will enjoy the same success, commitment, resilience, and level of excellence you experienced during your time here at Conn. You represent the picture of resilience for me. Imagine, COVID years, this thing called Zoom, vaccinations, campus repairs, but more important, you have made friends for life. The memories of Conn will be yours for a number of years, and as a psychologist, I want you to remember the high points. That other stuff can be lost to history, and I hope your time here has been memorable and I am sure your family is proud of you. Connecticut College is also so proud of your achievements. Many of those occurred in the classroom, labs, dining halls, and on Temple Green. A lot of learning also occurs outside the classroom. Many of you are on the varsity rosters. Many of you play intramural sports. There are numerous clubs and organizations. You also have a championship chess team, a Player of the Year in basketball, national and international scholarship awards, acclaim on many fronts, and I have to say something really distinctive, floralia. I've been practicing that to say it right. So thanks for tolerating my presence, and I can tell you that I can still hear. And yes, there are many private opportunities with refreshments where you make lifelong friends and learn more about yourself. And now that you are about to become a college graduate from a premier school, don't forget. And I should also mention that many of you have felt the deep sadness and grief of the wars in the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Europe, discomfort here in the United States and elsewhere. There are responsibilities of being an educated person, and now that will shadow you your whole entire life. Respect that responsibility, accept it with pride, and I ask that you live that ethic each day forward. The moral compass you are building today, yesterday, and in the future into your personality originates from your years at Conn. So as we get ready to honor you, I want to thank you for caring about Connecticut College. I took this assignment to reset the path Conn was on and to do what I could to restore some faith and hope that studying and working here will be an honor, and that was my goal, and I feel like we've all met it as a community. This community is doing well and on a good path. You've helped me set the seeds for a much brighter future, and these contributions made a difference, and I want to thank you all. Okay, let's get you graduated. And now we have arrived at the part of our program when we will hear directly from a member of the class of 2024. Our tradition at Conn is to select the senior speaker through a competitive nomination process open to the entire senior class. The student you are about to hear from today stood out from an impressive group of nominees. A resident of Boston, Massachusetts, Giana De La Cruz is a psychology major, economics minor, and scholar in public health pathways. Born in New York to a family from the Dominican Republic, she moved to the Dominican Republic as an infant before returning to the United States when she was 5 years old. At Conn, Giana has served as head of public relations for the Polka Fashion Show, a mentor in the Genesis program, and the social media program assistant for the Office of Student Engagement. In addition, twice a week she interns at New London High School's Career and College Office to help students develop post-high school plans. As a junior, Giana studied abroad in England at Queen Mary University of London. She learned about public health in the United Kingdom, Europe, and the United States through comparative research and analysis of public health systems around the world. In addition, she also interned at My Grateful, a company that works with immigrants and asylum seekers who have a passion for cooking. She completed a research project for her pathway about immigration integration in the UK and US, which she presented at the All College Symposium in November. After graduation, Giana will work at Massachusetts General Hospital as an administrative manager in its Aspire Summer Adventure Camp, which specializes in helping children and young teens on the autism spectrum, helping them to succeed in social situations. and she also plans to pursue a Master's of Social Work and is applying to graduate school. So, won't you please join me in welcoming the 2024 senior class speaker, Giana De La Cruz. All right.
Hello, graduates, acclaimed faculty and staff, family, and friends. I thank you all for giving me the honor of speaking to you all today at the 106th Commencement of Connecticut College. To my class of 2024, I want to start off by giving you all a warm and heartfelt congratulations. As I stand in front of you all here today, I struggle to really understand how we have arrived here. It was just yesterday we all arrived at Connecticut College with masks on, our parents crying or smiling while dropping off way more things than we actually needed. Just yesterday, some of us had our very first camel moments, but soon it will be just yesterday that we sat in a sea of our peers and graduated from Connecticut College, home of the camels. It actually feels like just yesterday I learned about something called the analytic third. I was introduced to this concept through a book. It was defined as being the connection built between a therapist and client while in a therapy session. The analytic third is what we create when we make genuine contact with one another at a deeper emotional level of experience, whether in groups, communities, or organizations. When I got to class the next day to discuss the reading, I was the first to raise my hand in class and say, I'm not really sure I completely understand what this analytic third is. Actually, I'm very confused. My professor chuckled a bit after everyone in the class kind of nodded, agreeing they were a bit confused as well. They went on to explain that the analytic third is a creation of connection. It is a third entity, the space between self and other, subject and object, fantasy and reality. The third dimension that emerges from two persons or two things fully engaged in the exploration of unconscious meanings, reasons, motives, and actions. In a way, it is surreal. Some might even say not tangible, but others, myself included, think it is. Don't worry. I know I just said a lot of big words and explanations. I sound like the book that confused me in the first place, but the analytic third is just a fancy term for connections. And no, I do not mean connections, our signature academic program. I mean connections. When we sit with a friend on Temple Green and don't speak but say so much, words unspoken are whispered by our consciousness. When we walk in the arboretum and are surrounded by an endless amount of trees, our mind suddenly quiets for a second or two, something rare in this fast-paced world we live in. When we go watch a musical and feel as though we're actually a part of this fantasy world, singing and dancing alongside these characters, or when we go to a sports game and stand up, eyes wide, hands clenched, with anticipation of a goal or a score, that is the analytic third, the connection. We know how all of these feelings feel. We can sometimes even describe them, hold them, and recreate them. As we sit here on our beloved Temple Green, our minds racing with the pictures of a ghost of ourselves throughout these 4 years, running to JA to make a sandwich, going to coffee closet to quickly grab a drink, or lying here under a bed of stars with our friends, not caring that the grass beneath us is poking at our arms and legs, or even just sitting in a collab room in the library for hours doing anything but work. That feeling we all have right now, the nostalgia, happiness, bittersweetness, whatever it may be, that feeling is the analytic third. We are here at this moment graduating from Connecticut College, but there's also something else happening in this moment. We feel something as a result of this experience. We are now aware of the memories built and the interactions had, and suddenly, we can breathe and realize something has changed or happened. We have all created connections with this campus and this amazing experience we are so privileged to have had. We have cried, laughed, sung, played, and learned on this campus. We have taken deep breaths and have come out changed and affected by our environment. Whether it be the people we met, the activities we've done, or the classes we have taken. We have all created something here and left impressions most of us are not even aware of. Some of us have discovered ourselves, some lost and found again, and others are eager to find self-discovery beyond Connecticut College. I encourage all of us to see and recognize these connections we leave behind today and look forward to countless more we'll create in the future. May we ask more questions than we garner answers, listen more than we speak, constantly envision beyond the confines of reality, and may we spread more kindness than judgment. Let us remember that the most important moments in our history books have been those which have started with uncertainty, those which have caused uncomfort, and those that usually have started with questions. As we leave Connecticut College, we are leaving with more than just degrees. I don't have to explain that. You all feel it, here, now, next to our peers, surrounded by our loved ones, our beloved faculty and staff. Those pictures I mentioned, they're still there, racing in each one of our minds. The ghosts of ourselves playing right in front of us, running back and forth on this Temple Green, from biology classes to human development. We feel all of the love at this very moment and the long-lasting relationships and memories built on this very campus. We feel it, so let us keep feeling, creating, and growing as we leave here. May we all allow ourselves to wonder, succeed, fail, and try again, each time taking a deep breath, looking up, and appreciating what we have just created. Congratulations, class of 2024, family, friends, faculty, staff, and anyone else who has helped let us create and foster this beautiful, even magical analytic third with Connecticut College. And now please welcome Dean of the Faculty, Daniel Egan.
Thank you, Gianna. That was lovely. As a psychoanalyst, I was totally pumped by that speech. I am very pleased to be here today to present the Oaks and Louise Ames Prize for 2024. The Oaks and Louise Ames Prize is named for the late President Emeritus, Oaks Ames, and for his wife, Louise Ames. It is given to a graduating senior who has completed the year's most outstanding honors study. The prize is offered by the trustees in recognition of the quality of academic achievement that Oaks and Louise Ames fostered during their 14 years of service to Connecticut College. This year's Ames Prize is awarded to Kira Barry McNamara. Kira, will you please come forward? Kira, will you play? Here she is. Hello. Kira is a studio art and psychology double major and English minor. She is receiving the Ames Prize for her honors thesis, The Spectacle of Consumption, I'm Lovin' It. Kira's work explores hyperconsumerism, food production and ethics, and global capitalism and its environmental impacts in three collections of paintings, a collection of pen and ink drawings, a found object sculpture, and an installation. In addition to the artwork, her extensive and impressive thesis includes a written component in which she grapples with greed, corruption, and crisis on a global scale. Drawing influences from her personal reckoning with meat consumption, her study abroad semester in Rome, and various artistic inspirations, Kira's work evidences high technical achievement and a great deal of experimentation. Her combination of the legible imagery and material manipulation draws in viewers in a way that is simultaneously accessible and challenging. While themes of influences overlap throughout, individual pieces reference specific artists and subject matter, further situating Kira's work within today's contemporary art discourse. Her installation, for example, combines audio, visual, and scent to fully immerse the viewer in the production chain of a McDonald's Big Mac, while one of her paintings, Vapes for Teens, engages directly with the work of American painter Wayne Thiebaud. Associate Professor of Art Chris Barnard, who served as Kira's thesis advisor and nominated her for the Ames Prize, praised her, quote, ability to naturalistically render imagery in complex compositions and manipulate materials for expressive means, end quote. He said he believes the excellent body of work she created will be the standard bearer for the art department for years to come. Kira's thesis embodies everything we could hope for a liberal arts studio art major, a diligent work ethic and superior handling of a range of artistic media, experimentation and initiative, integration of knowledge from a range of fields of inquiry, dialogue with similar work in the field, and intentional decision-making and self-reflection regarding both form and content, end quote. He said, quote, simply put, there's a lot of work, and it is excellent, end quote. Kira, for your outstanding scholarship, I am pleased to present you with the 2024 Oakes and Louise Ames Prize. I am now very pleased to present the Claire Gaudiani Prize for 2024. The Claire Gaudiani Prize for Excellence in the Senior Integrative Project is awarded annually to the student with the best SIP Senior Integrative Project in one of the college's interdisciplinary centers. This year's Gaudiani Prize winner is awarded to Sarah Jane Hall. Sarah, will you please come forward? Sarah is an environmental science major, geoscience minor, and a scholar in the Goodwin Nearing Center for the Environment. She is receiving the Claire Gaudiani 66 Prize for her Senior Integrative Project, GSI-based multi-criterial decision analysis for marine energy site selection, a case study comparison between Puerto Rico and Hawaii. Hall's work applies a new method of site selection for marine renewable energy technologies that incorporates not only energy resource data, but also technical, socioeconomic, and environmental data to facilitate more sustainable, equitable, and just transitions to renewable energy around the world. In her complex and comprehensive study, advised by Rosemary Park Professor of Geoscience and Environmental Studies, Doug Thompson, Hall seamlessly weaves together expertise in physics, engineering, conservation biology, geographic information systems, and social and environmental justice to create an original body of research. She combines GIS, a computer software that allows for the visualization and manipulation of geospatial data, a multi-criteria decision analysis, a method that allows for the integration of multiple factors to conduct site selection analysis for 2 marine renewable energy projects. A coastal structure integrative wave energy converter in Puerto Rico, and a hybrid wind-wave solar project in Hawaii. Hall's analysis found that the inclusion of social justice data yielded different site selection outcomes compared to analyses considering only technical and resources data, suggesting the importance of incorporating social data into future site selection decisions. Her work also indicates the suitability of using GIS-based multi-criteria decision analysis methodologies across diverse locations to better harness the immense energy extraction potential of the world's oceans. Derek Turner, class of 1943 professor of philosophy, and Carla Hurich Harrison, 28 director of the Goodwin Nearing Center for the Environment, wrote in a letter nominating Hall for the Gaudiani Prize. Sarah has put the integrative in Senior Integrative Project. Her idea to include social justice criteria in geospatial maps of potential sites for renewable energy projects is novel, and her work has real-world applicability that can contribute to a more just transition to renewable energy. Sarah Hall, for your outstanding scholarship, I am pleased to present you with the 2024 Giana Prize. I now invite Erica Smith, Dean of the College, to come forward and present the Anna Lord Strauss Medal.
Good morning. Oh, okay. Thanks. It's my privilege today to present the Anna Lord Strauss Medal for Exceptional Scholarship and Community Activism. This year's medal is being awarded to Chastity Mena. Thank you, Chastity, for joining me at the podium. Anna Lord Strauss was a remarkable woman who embodied the idea of service. In her role as national president of the League of Women Voters, in her 5 presidential appointments to national and international committees and missions, and in her devotion to Connecticut College as a trustee for the extraordinary term of 32 years. The medal is presented in her honor to the graduating senior who has done outstanding work in public or community service, including service to the college. This year's recipient is a consummate leader, mentor, and changemaker. An educational studies and sociology double major, human development minor, and Holleran Center for Community Action and Public Policy scholar, Chastity has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to civic engagement at Connecticut College. In New London and in her hometown of New York City, particularly in her efforts to empower youth of color. Through the Enrich After School program, the Drop-In Learning Center, Eye to Eye, and Hispanic Alliance of Southeastern Connecticut, Chastity has mentored New London middle and high school students and promoted Latinx empowerment. Last summer, she interned with the Partnership for After-School Education in New York City and worked with the East Harlem Tutorial Program. Through Khan's Summer Civic Leaders Program, Chastity also worked with the Community Land Trust to address housing inequities and with Fresh New London to address access to fresh produce. At Khan, Chastity is a Posse Scholar, a Holleran Center Fellow, a House Fellow, Women of Color Collective member, and Center for the Critical Study of Race and Ethnicity intern. She has also served as a People of Color Alliance Executive Director, a Student Advancement Officer, a Child Development Lab School Student Teacher, and Foundations of Education Teaching Assistant. And there's more. In 2021, she was awarded a Newman Civic Fellowship. In her coursework, Chastity has achieved Dean's High Honors. She has completed a senior integrative project, Education as a Force for Change, and developed a tailored, trauma-informed training curriculum for Khan students engaging as interns, mentors, or volunteers with New London Public Schools. Chastity Mena, for your exemplary work as a citizen and a scholar, I am so pleased to present to you the 2024 Anna Lord Strauss Medal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Thank you.
got caught up. I almost lost what I'm supposed to do. I now invite Interim President Les Wong back to the podium.
Congratulations again to these exceptional students. And now I invite Maria Wyckoff-Boyce, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees and a member of the class of 1985, to join me for the conferral of the honorary degree.
I ask Laura Coates to come forward. Laura, as a leader in the fields of journalism and the law, you have made significant contributions to the public's understanding of the law and social justice issues that impact people's lives. You graduated in 2001 from Princeton University's School of Public and International Affairs, and in 2005 from the University of Minnesota Law School. Your professional career began in private practice in Minnesota and New York, where you handled cases ranging from intellectual property litigation and First Amendment issues to defamation and media law. You then transitioned to the United States Department of Justice, where you served as a federal prosecutor in the Civil Rights Division and as an assistant U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. In 2016, you transitioned to a career in television, radio, and writing as an anchor and chief legal analyst at CNN, a SiriusXM talk show host, and the author of 2 books, You Have the Right, A Constitutional Guide to Policing the Police, and Just Pursuit, a Black prosecutor's fight for fairness. Laura Coates, for your commitment to excellence in the law and communications, the college is proud to confer upon you this honorary degree.
In recognition of your many achievements and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and pursuant to their vote, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the attendant rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Awesome.
Wow.
All yours.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for an inspiring example and being with us on this special day for the class of 2024. Thank you. All right.
Well, you know how to show a girl a good time. I'm sorry I got my degree before all of you all. My goodness, what a pleasure and a joy to be with all of you today. I am just so happy for so many reasons, so honored to try to hold a candle to the phenomenal young women that have already been on this stage, from your student speaker and the analytic third to things I can't even describe about marine biology and life. I'm a lawyer. We don't have to understand, we have to convey. To, of course, what's going on in public service and everything in between. How proud am I to be on this stage today and in front of you all? And, you know, it's almost shocking to me that I would be here to tell you about life in some way. I mean, who am I to tell the class of 2024, a class that began in ways that none of us could have anticipated or experienced in any way? I mean, to have begun during the pandemic, to have the summer of racial reckoning, for the world to be on fire across the globe. We're going to tell you about what the world is like? No. I'm going to ask you to tell us what the world is that you want it to be. Because for many of you, this is your very first graduation, and I don't take that lightly. I had the benefit of having my commencements and having, I guess you would call it normalcy. But for you, I'm sure it feels sometimes as though you had missed out on something. But let me be the first to tell you, you have not indeed missed out. You have something that is so enviable to everyone else, which is a blank slate. I'm reminded of a story that my mother often tells. And indulge me for a moment, because the older I get, although I'm only 25, thank you for the humid conditions. The skin looks moist and supple. I appreciate that. And as a woman from Minnesota, I can tell you that's a wonderful thing to see. Thank you. My mother would tell the story when I would try to tell her about, how different generations could always improve and do something better. We would look and we would be judgmental and say, what you all have done, let me tell you, I can make it better. I can improve upon it. I can do it better. I can do all these things. And she would tell this story about a conversation between those who challenged the Creator. Now, whoever that is for you, I will leave that up to you and your minds and your faith. And they turned to a story about how there was some semblance that the Creator had created mankind from clay. And there were those that challenged and said, I could have improved upon all these things. I could have made mankind, first of all, humankind, including women. I could have made mankind more sensitive. I could have made it more thoughtful. I could have made it in a way that was less judgmental. I could have made the physical appearance different. I could have made the bodies different. I could have made all these things differently. And the Creator said, well, I welcome you to do something, to reinvent, to recreate. I welcome it, and I challenge you to do so. Since you have a world and a mind full of ideas, please do it. And pompous and arrogant in a way, which is why she was telling her daughter, who was, I guess, displaying those qualities in the moment. She said, now, here's what happened next. Those who had challenged began to pick up clay and mold it in the way they thought was better, to reinvent and recast and tweak here and there. And at first, that Creator smiled and then said, well, hold on, what are you doing? And the person said, well, we're making it better. We're taking what you did and we're improving on it. And the Creator said, no, you have to first make your own clay. You see, when we look at you, when I look and I see each of you, I don't want you to wait for someone to just simply challenge you to improve upon that which really no longer exists in the same way, in the way that the clay makers before saw it. You have a chance to make your own clay. You have a chance not just to build upon, but recreate and reinvent the world as it is now. The blank slate of things, the way that people have described what a democracy is like, the way they have described in the past what life ought to be like, the way they have told you how things were, and maybe nostalgia kicks in and they try to tell you in glowing terms about how it always was. You have an opportunity in front of each of you right now, before you right now in this very moment, to recreate the clay, to build it upon the things that you value, that you cherish, that you know. You will find at some point, if you have not already, an extraordinary epiphany and revelation that will serve you well throughout life. And that is the revelation that the people who tell you what to do or think are just older. But they don't know you. They don't know what you believe. They don't necessarily know, and they don't need to. They need to convey and relay and inform, and your job, your right, and please let it be your calling to do that which is necessary to then return it in the form of an education for the rest of the world. That will be the beauty. In so many ways, the world is almost like a package that's been opened. And with all that has happened and changed, you will find it impossible to repackage it. Much to my chagrin, as I try to return so many things to Amazon that they will not take. But you try to repackage it, and you can't do it, and you don't try. The bells have been rung, the sounds have been made, but you have a chance to recreate. And here I am at the commencement, and it's always how it is at the beginning. A feeling of anxiety, a feeling of joy, a feeling of pride, a feeling of what will I do next? I can tell you I have been where you have been. I have sat where you have sat. I have felt the joy and the pride and also a tremendous amount of uncertainty about what should and what could come next. Who would I be? What would I use? What tools would I need and how would I feel? How would I measure success? And what's behind me are these beautiful degrees. That could be one barometer of how people choose to see you. I mean, after all, a degree can be defined as a unit of measurement, right? But I challenge each of you to use it in the definitional sense of the extent, the amount, and the level to which you will allow something to happen. The degree to which you would like to see something different, see something maintained, see something obliterated, or see something progressively changed. You have that power right now where you are, and your success will not be based on simply a piece of paper or the words that are on it, but what you do to bring it to life. Are we friends? Can I tell a personal story? Do you mind? Do it. I'll do it. You know, when I was graduating from college, do you know that I was waitlisted at every single law school I applied? And I had to tell you, there was a level of, at times, having had this wonderful trajectory up until that point. The world always seemed to come up in roses for me. And I sat and I waited as my friends and my, fellow students would receive success after success in the form of a letter. And the world and the universe was telling me to wait, to wait. Now, I couldn't understand it in the moment. I thought I had done all the things you're supposed to do. I certainly had not gotten the no's, but the wait seemed in my adolescent mind at the time, because again, if I'm 25 now, you do the math, that it seemed unfair. And I actually thought, I think I used the word cruel to describe it, as if, just to tell you the myopic view, to think that being a waitlisted person meant there was a cruelty in the world. But I couldn't understand why I was told to wait until I realized that every delay is in your favor. Every delay is in your favor. When the world was telling me to wait, it was an opportunity to take a moment to see, to derail for a moment, to understand the path and the track that I wanted to be on, to wait and understand what the world was like around me, to wait and understand who I wanted to become and who I already was, to wait and not have a moment when you only described or defined yourself based on the perception of what success is to other people, but to then at that moment decide for yourselves what success looks like for you. How do you feel when you have the accomplishment that is dictated by you? What comes next for you? And it made all the difference in my life, because there was a power in having the ability to determine one's own path and trajectory. And every delay became in my favor. I don't regret for a moment the universe's dictation that I wait. What I regret is any time I failed at trying to succeed at being someone else. But what a joy to have the moments in your life that are here. Maybe some of you can relate already. Maybe it'll be before you. I encourage each of you to fail miserably at trying to succeed at being someone else. I encourage you to go out in a blaze of glory anytime you think, I need to be, I need to sound like, I need to represent as, I need to show up as anything inauthentically that is not you. Fail. Enjoy that failure and find yourself better. You know, when I became a prosecutor, I really realized the weight and the power that one has to be authentically yourself, to bring who you are to a table, because you will meet people at the other end of judgment. You will have in that moment the ability to understand and empathize, or you'll have the ability to choose to believe that you are different and in the camp of, I never would. But what you will see when you wait for a moment and go down the list of the things that you thought you held dear is that you will find yourself in that revelation. You know, it's not who you are that's going to hold you back. It's who you think you are not. And part of your journey and discovery of today will be realizing who you are and who you are not. I found myself tested throughout my work, tested my moral compass, at times spinning, trying to find a true north, challenging what I thought would be who and what you do when the decisions to change something is right in front of you. When someone else's lives are in your hands, and whatever field or world you are in is in the palm of your hand, what will you do with it? The power is intoxicating. Don't drink from that well. Don't use or seek power for the sake of accolades. Use and seek power for the sake of conveying that power to those who truly need it. Those who are voiceless among you, those who need a champion, those who need someone to see them because you are reflecting your values and who you are. Journalism is not that different, frankly, from the world of the law, in that you are providing information and allowing people decide what they want to do with it and how they think about it. And you have to wait to determine the priorities of the lists you provide of information. But I'll tell you one thing to be cautious of in the life that you lead. Be cautious of the theys. The they. Now, I don't mean the pronouns. Pronouns are fine, boomers. They're just fine. Period, full stop. I'm talking about the theys of the world that are using that as a data point to change what you believe. They'll take your beautiful minds and all that you've experienced and all that you know and all that you feel, and they'll say, yeah, but they say this, and so you must be wrong. But I believe in this, and I think this, and I feel this, and I know from my education this. And they say, yeah, but, they're saying that that's not accurate. They say in a condescending, look down the nose sort of way what they think. And then if you really unpack it, you find yourself realizing that the theys are the wizards behind the curtain trying to tell you what you already have. You already know you've got the brain, the heart, the courage to do what you believe in. So be wary of the they as not a data point, but as a moment when you'll realize how uncomfortable people are when you create the clay. When you have that bold audacity to say, I can, I will, I should, and I will continue, they will try to tell you why you are wrong. But they can't hold a candle to all that you think, believe, and do, because you are the ones to recreate the clay. They will tell you to sit at the table, to fight for that seat at the table. And I'll tell you, I've sat at many a table, and I've often wondered if I'm on the menu. Sometimes I'm not always invited to the seat at the table because I bring my opinions with me. And I don't hold back about what they are. But I often see when people talking about having a seat at the table, one of the things that you have to be wary of is why they want you to leave your walk and your path to sit down. Is it the room you want to be in? Is the table where you need to be? Is there another space you need to occupy? Or is that seat an opportunity for you to not only get up for a moment, open the window so everyone else can hear what's inside, what ought to be a transparent space? When you sit at that table, can you all do me a favor? Because now we're all personal friends. And I'm also a grad now of Connecticut College, so thank you. When you sit at that table, can you do me a personal favor and not be a mute at it? There is no reason for you to be at a table if you have every intention of being silent when you are there. There is no reason for you to be at that table if you find yourself trying to conform to who it is you think is supposed to be at that table, what they look like. If you try to impersonate what you think success or somebody who's entitled to be there looks like, you have no longer chosen to be yourself at that table. And I'm telling you, the invisibility of yourself is only at the whole world's detriment. Everything you are right now is enough and ought to be at those tables. Ignore the imposter syndrome that might come, that might be imposed, that you might have a rumbling that you don't deserve or should be someplace. You should be, and you already are, because you have degrees to decide the amount, the level, and extent to which you will welcome people into the space that you're in and the way you're going to teach them how to treat you. That is your power, and you have it right now. You know, I'll leave you with this story that I often think about in terms of the ability to choose either to sit and be influenced by the energy in a room, or you could choose to influence the energy in the room. There are 3 types of people that a good friend of mine always described. 3 types of people who will emerge in times of pressure and pain and joy and hardship and the equivalent of boiling water. Because that's what pressure can feel like sometimes. Who am I telling? You know. But there are 3 types of people, and one is a carrot, right? A carrot, when you put it in boiling water, it begins as being very hard, but the pressure softens it in a way that makes it malleable and easy to be mushed and broken. Don't be the carrot, but eat your vegetables. Then there's the egg. You put an egg in boiling water, it begins having a fluidity within itself. It begins being able to be open to change. It can move, it can have possibilities. And you put it in boiling water and its very composition changes. It can no longer be moved. It is as it now will be. And it's unrecognizable to its former self. Don't be that egg. Or there's the coffee bean. And when the coffee bean gets into the boiling water, it doesn't lessen who it is. It changes the water. It lets itself, its authentic self, come out and energize and rejuvenate and awaken and unapologetically provide the jolt that the entirety of its body now needs. But it remained who the coffee bean was. Don't worry, I won't say woke. It's a thing now, apparently. But you should be the coffee bean. You should be the coffee bean that influences the energy around itself. Oh, claps, thank you. That's who you have to be. And you know who you have to be for us right now? Here's a vantage point that's about to change for the rest of your life. You will no longer have one person speaking at you, lecturing, telling you what you need to read, what you need to learn, what are the prerequisites and the metrics that they will judge you on, because this is the syllabus that they have and they will provide. Now we're looking at you. And I look at each of you with such a fondness and joy and pride that it is bursting out of my very chest. And I ask you, you tell me, clay creators, what should we be reading? Who will be our heroes? How will the world be described? Where is this place that you will build and have built and are building for us? What are the quotes? What are the lectures? What are the moments? What is the syllabus? And for the love of everything, tell us, what is our assignment? Thank you.
I think I know who I'm putting on my television watch list now, so that was magnificent. And now it is time to confer the degrees to the class of 2024. I invite Dean Smith to come forward once again, this time to present the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree.
Will the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts please rise? It's not a trick question. It's you. Interim President Wong, the candidates standing before me have successfully completed the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts and have been recommended for that degree by the faculty. I present them to you and ask that you, through the authority vested in you by the Board of Trustees, confer on them the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Students, this is your moment. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Connecticut College and pursuant to their vote, I hereby confer on you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all its attendants, rights, and privileges. And I remind you of the responsibilities you are about to assume. In token thereof, I will present to you the diploma of the college. I believe you are supposed to start filing up here.
Lyndon Inglis, class president. Jocelyn Pinheiro, class president. Omo Bolanle Anike Abakunde. Luke William Acton. Marguerite Laforge Adolphe. Sabrina Akhtar Ahmed. Fez Aladdin. Ian Donovan Albanese. Ruby Alcorn. Jack Dayton Alexa. Lily Hudson Algieri. James Martin Amel. Billy Kisu. Temi Tape Amunikoro. Lauren Harrington Anastos. Madison Andrews. Wade Usselton Anthony. Grant A. Archer. Marietta Catherine Atkins. Taylor Elizabeth Austin. Valentina Berla. Frederick Peter Baldauf. Alexia Ray Ballantyne. Ethan Augustus Bankowski. Courtney Margaret Banks. Caroline Rose Barbieri. Zara Lillian Barsky. Jordi Batista. Laura Luna Beckius. Japmeet Singh Bedi. Nicole R. Beecher. Louis Naganuma Benioff. Lucy Bernheim. Patricia Barrowette. Cecilia Marie Bianchi. Isabel Blank. Brielle Alexi Blood. Jennifer Lily Bloom. Cecilia Grace Bohan. Imogen Louise Bowen. Alexa Vivian Booker. Zolenge Rose Bordwin. Caitlin Elizabeth Boyd. Caroline Boyd. Charles Jeffrey Bresnahan. Ashley Comstock Breyer. Eleanor Ann Brown. Grace Ann Bucci. Lexi Nightingale Bufalino. Ethan Patrick Bush. Henry Codman Cabot. Hannah H. Calaman. John Dana Callahan. Janice Michelle Caminero. Wyatt James Carbonell. Olivia Harris Caron. Ramon Carrillo Martinez. Joseph Scalia Carroll. Megan Elizabeth Cassidy. Marco Fiorentino Cerezo. Juliette Chait. Caroline Mary Champa. Robert Adams Chang. Charmaine Chow. Peter Lawrence Cheney. Georgie Chikwaise. Moises Jesus Chiquito. Camila Cronister. Emma Ciruti Clark. Joshua Charles Cohan. Talia Shai Cohen. Sarah Mason Cole. Adam P. Coles. Alani Jade Cologne. Stephanie Corneo. Sydney Ann Cresta. Callista Ann Crisanino. Michael Amon Curran. Elias Edward Courier. Christopher Antonio Stakopoulos. Ellie Damiecki. Dylan Emmanuel Daoud. Christopher Freeman Davis. Giana Victoria De La Cruz. Felipe de los Santos Jr. Ren Valchar de Bartolomeus. Karen Auburn de Benedictis. Sophia Rose Defoe. Crescenzo Jesse DeLuca. Sophie DeMazy. Sean Kenneth Detloff. Sophia Marina DeCipio. Samadhi U. Disanayake. Fanny Constance Christo Detlevson. Zachary Liam Dobson. Lola Marie Dorsonia. Anita Therese Duggan. James Douglas. Miranda Dowie. Gavin Anderson Dowley. Isabella Geist Dubois. Leron Duggan. Sean William Dinan. Merritt Edosa. David Edward Ellison. Elizabeth Warren Ellsbury. Matthew David Pfeiffer. Eomide Fasunla. Cameron Mackenzie Fernandez. Ava Elizabeth Ferrigno. Henry David Fine. Erin Teresa Flanagan. Aaron Jonathan Fleischman. Jerron Christopher Flynn. Ameya Afia Fukuo. Kendall Kana Shinoda Foley. Jonathan William Fossil. Sarah Franco. Harold J. Fuqua. Quinn Michael Ferguson. Madeline Elise Gasson. Peter Lee Gattuso. Sophia Rose George. Nathaniel David Gilkey. Jasmine Lola Gillespie. Zachary Charles Guino. Casey Kathleen Godfrey. Haley Rachel Goldner. Tiernan Alexander Golnick. Briani Yanalise Gonzalez. Maritza Deyanira Gonzalez Baca. Andrew Campbell Goodman. George Dana Gould II. Riley Elizabeth Griffith. Ella George Emerson Griffiths. Hannah Elizabeth Grinnell. Jack Regan Gurney. Jasmine Guzman. Catherine Jane Gwinnett. Sarah Jane Hall. Wesley Hanger. Kathleen Larkin Hargis. Meredith Wren Harper. Pearson Charles Harrington. Tyler James Harvey. Mairead Worth Hayes. Olivia Grace Healy. Marie-Ève Hébert. Sarah Elizabeth Hennig. Stephanie Hernandez. Cecily Diana Hetzel. Patricia Del Carmen Hewitt. Caitlin Jill Horgan. Reese Henry Hornstein. Miles Carter Houston. Janet Ferron Howard. Jonathan Alexander James Howell. Kristen Eleanor Hummer. Winona Claire Hunter. Rachel Nicole Hurwitz. Nicholas Anthony Ingemi. Juliana Ingracia. Manan Basil Masaru Isaac. Michaelin Bell Jacobson. Bailor Jallo. Bonti Jaswal. Stevenson Jean-Louis. Holly Ring Johnson. Maya Lynn Johnson. Mia Christina Yerkunis. Liam James Kaisgen. Dahlia Grace Kaplan. Varney Tamia Kessely. Virginia Reese Kiern. Alexander Stephen Cowell. Abigail Hurd Cromer. David Nyland Min-Kyu Kraske. Karen Juliet Krasnoff. Ichiro Kubazono. Owen Walker LaBombard. Matthew Clifton Laclay. Emma Catherine Lanahan. Timothy Sumner Landis. Anna Longloy. Grace Adelaide Levine. Claire Christine Lawrence. Kay Lay. Benjamin Jacob Ledoux. Jocelyn Brooke Lewis. Margaret Borg Linehan. Cassidy Rose Lizon. Ava Bella Ladowski. Olivia Yeli Liu. Nicholas Clark Lorenzen. Alexander Lorenzo Cruz. Samuel Menegon Lovejoy. Mei Cheng Liu. Iris Luce. Milo Braveman Lynch. Robert Anthony Lynch IV. Miranda Jiawe Ma. Ryan Anthony Mock. Johar Dudiab Mahir. Aguk Huwai Malok. Eugenie Claire Marie Mangon. Ava Lee Josephine Marchese. Sydney Celeste Marenberg. Beth Marsh. William Carl Martin. William David Massingham. Rachel Matamoros. Griffin Peel McAlinden. Victoria Amelia McCallion. Michael Bradley Gaines McCullum. Ainsley Claire McDonald. Victoria Ann McGugan. Brooke Elizabeth McKenna. Ryan Gregory McKinney. Ashlyn Claire McMahon. Kira Barry McNamara. Bridget Ray McTague. William Campbell Mears III. Itzel Sitlali Medina. Hope Patrice Melanson. Brendan William Malitz. Chastity Mena. Lynette Mercedes Bido. Haley Grace Michelle. Ayana Lee Miller. Azadi Motoresi. Francesca Shante Moore. Sapphire Natalia Moore. Kiara Priscilla Moraca. Jimmy Alexio Morales. Ricardo Morales Jr. Roberto Joaquin Morales. Kristen Louise Moran. Joshua Aaron Moylan. Abigail Marie Munger. Lemson Morea. Connor John Murray. David Oluwale Murray. Sophia Elizabeth Nadeau. Bianca Ximena Nano Salguero. William Brian Nash. Khadidra Janice Niels. David Michael Nilapa. Toon Kook Ngo. Ling Ha Nguyen. Ni Lam Ja Nguyen. Fong Zuong Nguyen. Violet Olivia Nids. Mori Nishihira. Rebecca B. Oberman Levine. Emily Matheson O'Brien. Jill Ann Astreicher. Holland Grace O'Hara. Tegan Sol O'Hara. Maiko Okamura. Wendy Y. Olivares. Hope Anna Linda Olson. Narchav Ömür. Kevin O'Neill. Thank you. Henry Vatcher O'Shaughnessy. Anastasia Constance Parisa Papakstanzis. Elizabeth Fox Payne. Chi Pham. Nicholas Phelps. Joseph Desmond Pimlott. Morgan Plouffe. Charlotte Ann Padeswa. Andrew Powers. Emma Claire Preston. Serena Linnea Prince. Eli Mitchell Prabila. Sunshine Brightly Pugh. Emma Elaine Piles. Jiao Xian. Emma Rose Quilty. Kylie Anne-Marie Quinn. Sophia Jane Ramirez. Carla Yamileth Ramirez Maraquin. Madalena Dorothy Rathgaber. Margaret Sarah Reed. Benjamin Carlton Rice. Skylar Holden Rice. William Oscar Rice. Margaret Lynn Richards. Nicolette Mary Rourke. Grace Salmon Robinson. Samuel Hillary Rocket. Electra Sullivan Roger. Benjamin Lewis Rothstein. Catherine Julia Rubel. Samuel Hughes Rubin. Jane Catherine Rusher. Colin Jonathan Ryan. Connor Richard Ryan. Benjamin Richard St. Germain. Notion Sayara. Isabel Sala Tanone. Alexandra Grace Salemi. Donna Paula Sandoval. Julia Elizabeth Sorrow. Jamie Jean Scarpantonio. Nicolette Alexa Scola. Isiba Omi Francis Cesanaya. Mohammed Bazid Shazad. Sebastian Albert Shames. Seth Lazar Shimmelfarb Wells. Natasha Shrivastava. Claire Hanson Simon. Eden Olivia Sisson. Addison Arbor Slade. Adina Michelle Smith. Bethany Augusta Smith. Elizabeth Georgia Smith. Renee Emmanuel Smith. Henry Sheldon Smythe. Gianna Rose Solazzo. Guo Chung Sung. Luke Maziar Spario. Ava Baycott Spitzer. Seth Andrew Stadheim. Savannah Jade Stevenson. Anna Grace Stover. Evan Volpe Strohs. Chloe Catherine Stoltz. Jake Owen Sullivan. Ethan Michael Sweeney. Priya Leilani Swagels. Emily Ann Swintack. Zuha Saeed. Ola Shansney. Owen Tacey. Alexander Joseph Talir. Annabelle Rose Tanger. Zaha Tate. Kayla Tavares. Cameron Luke Tedeschi. Lorena Montserrat Tenorio. Jack Thomas Tenzer. Ana Maria Tinoco. Yasmin Tarme. Alejandra Yasmin Tovar Carbajal. Duke Chi Chun. Wien Tuk Chun. Nodari Tava. Sarah Beth Umflet. Ariane Chia Vanegas Ferreira. Miranda Rain Van Moy. Priscilla Celeste Vasquez. Trevor William Vigant. Leslie Michelle Villegas. Jordan Andrew Viato. Christine Vu. Chloe Nicole Walsh. Malachi Kareem Ward. Megan Elizabeth Webb. Mia Allison Sheck Webb. Carly Rose Weber. Maddie Montgomery Wernerfeldt. Aaliyah Schwan Wessler. Emma Louise Wheeler. William Joseph Whalen. Auden Thomas Wolfson. Nicole Julia Wright. Ava Sarchia Yasari. Kaitaro Yasuda. Shania Alexis Yawn. Sophie Banks Zakin. Benjamin Asher Zamstein. Dylan Hunter Zane. Haley Noel Zalesko. Hannah Teresa Zivon. Caroline Mary Zidek. Dylan Elizabeth Zindler. Zoe Leora Zittner. Giselle Marina Zuniga. At this point, I would like to ask our first-generation graduates who wish to do so to please stand and be recognized. And now, I would like all the graduates to stand. Parents, families, guests, I present to you the class of 2024. All right, you may sit down. I now have the pleasure of introducing Chip Clothier, President of the Connecticut College Alumni Association Board of Directors, who has a few words to share.
Thank you. My name is Chip Clothier. I'm a proud member of the class of 1979 and the proud parent of a 2010 graduate. I'm also a boomer, and I still aspire to be a coffee bean. The Alumni Board's mission is to promote lifelong relationships among current and future alumni, and to lead the Alumni Association as it fosters an active, engaged, and enduring community of Connecticut College graduates. Wherever your travels take you, you can always call Connecticut College your home. Let me begin by acknowledging the resiliency of the class of 2024. For many of you, your high school graduations were canceled due to COVID, and you started your college career sequestered in your dorms unless you were out being tested twice a week for COVID. As the pandemic subsided, you roared back with enthusiasm and gusto. I personally got to see a little of that at Floralia. You should know that your alumni board is in awe of your scholarship, activism, athletic and artistic scholarship, and campus achievements. I say your alumni board because you have now joined the ranks of more than 30,000 Connecticut College alumni. The alumni board, many of them whom are here today to celebrate your accomplishments, left a card in your programs with words of advice and wishes of congratulations. Also, I would like to welcome from the class of 2024, Taylor Austin, who was elected to the alumni board earlier this month. As you reflect on what you have learned at Connecticut College, remember that these experiences over the years have shaped you into the person you are today. And now you have an important responsibility as an alum to stay active, engaged, and pay it forward for the next generation of Camels. I have a great feeling about the class of 24. More than 50% of you made gifts to the college, which is significantly larger than previous classes. I'd like to acknowledge one alumna who continues to pay it forward by supporting today's ceremony. As Athena Sakanikas Philippides is a graduate of the class of 1986, and it is because of her generosity that you all have all received a sapling, a memento of this occasion and of your time at Connecticut College. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I want to say that we hope that the roots that you have put down here will only grow deeper and stronger as you become alumni of this college and connect you forever with our beloved alma mater. Find a special place to plant it and watch it grow as you continue to build your lives. As you may be aware, we're in the middle of the Brag Your Camel Swag event, which culminates with all of us wearing Connecticut College swag on June 22nd, which is Global Camel Day. This was prompted by the fact that a student from the class of 2023 was wearing her College t-shirt in Africa, and a member of the class of 2012 saw it, and they struck up a conversation. Wear your camel clothing with pride. You never know who you will meet. The Connecticut College community is exceptional because of the people, because of you. As you begin your next journey, remember that alumni from around the globe and across the generations are there for you. Wherever you travel, you've got your herd of Connecticut College alumni traveling with you. Congratulations to the class of 2024, and welcome to the herd.
We are now set to launch you into a world that needs you so badly. And I know you will do well. And I know that all of you will be successful in what you choose to do, to be good citizens, to be good parents, compassionate and daring. Yes, daring. Go into the world with curiosity, because when you combine daring with curiosity, good things happen. As we conclude today's ceremonies, I wish to acknowledge our extraordinary faculty and staff. This day, truly, this day would not have been possible without all that they have dedicated to you and year after year dedicate to the college as teachers, mentors, and leaders. So please join me again in thanking the faculty and staff for their investments in the class of 2024 with a round of applause. I also gratefully acknowledge that with today's ceremony, we bid farewell to 4 exceptional faculty members who are retiring this year or have recently retired. They have served Con and our students very well. So everyone, let us show our appreciation for our retiring faculty who are Robert Baldwin, Associate Professor of Art History, Jane Dawson, Virginia Eason Weinman, 1951 Professor of Government and Environmental Studies, Edward McKenna, Associate Professor Emeritus of Economics, and Lawrence Vogel, Brigida Facciani Ardengi, Chair of Philosophy. Applause. And last but not least, I wish to recognize a group without whom this class actually would not exist. And that's the parents and guardians and grandparents and grandguardians of the class of 2024. To all of you among us, and to all who join us remotely, I want to thank you for sending your loved ones to study here at Connecticut College. Their success is your success, and now we must send them off to achieve even more. And now I ask all family who are here to please stand and be recognized by our students. Before I turn the microphone over, it's my 51st year in higher ed, and on this day, I've been missing a person's birthday for most of those years. So I want to take a moment of executive privilege. My wife is over here. Her birthday is today. We're going to actually spend it together. And tomorrow is our 52nd anniversary. Do I have to buy you something now? I better get my act together on that one. There won't be a 53rd. We will now conclude our ceremony with our closing reflection from the Reverend Stephanie Haskins, Director of Religious and Spiritual Programs, and then the singing of the Connecticut College alma mater, which will be performed by graduates Brielle Blood, Joshua Moylan, and Catherine Rubel, accompanied by the Connecticut College Jazz Quartet. Following the alma mater, we ask you to remain in your seats while the platform party faculty in the class of 2024 recess. After the recessional, families are invited to a luncheon at Harris Refectory. And I can't close without saying to you that this will be my last academic experience. I will retire with fond memories of Connecticut College, memories that will always be with me. After all, this is my own graduation after 51 years in higher ed, and no better way to end this formal part of my life of teaching and learning than being part of your community, and that's special. Thank you. Stephanie?
And with that heartfelt note, let us close our eyes. And if you'd like to, you're welcome to put your hands over your heart. This is a final word of blessing to the class of 2024 and to all those who love them. The world beyond Connecticut College will change you. Let it. Let your ideas change, including those you hold about yourself. Let your beliefs change as you encounter contradictions and analytic thirds, as you create your own clay. Let your own heart grow softer. Let your own wisdom eclipse the noise of your fears, for there is nothing to be afraid of, nothing at all, because your path will find you. And life itself will hold you even when things come apart. So thank you for being with us, class of 2024, and for changing us to We Will Not Forget You. Go now with our blessing and with our joy, It is the world's turn now to love you and change you. It is the world's turn now to love you and change you. Starting right now.